Good, good, good. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for showing up. We really appreciate your time. Yeah, welcome to the spaces tonight. We haven't done one. Well, we're from the Pulse Bitcoin community. We haven't done one in a little while, but we're really privileged to be joined today by IMPLS, Finance, and Atrofarm. Atrofarm.io. Yeah. Yeah, really pleasure to join us today. Lots to talk about. I'm also joined by Ben, who's Ben Taylor, who's actually a Hollywood producer. You've probably seen some of his films unknowingly, but he's also a volunteer community leader for Pulse Bitcoin ecosystem, which includes Pulse Dogecoin, the ASIC mining token, and then we've also got a third-party token, CARN. And now we've obviously partnered up with these guys because they've kindly offered us some farming capability. So yeah, really excited. How are you all doing tonight?
Pretty good. Thanks for having us on. We appreciate it. I look forward to talking about the project.
Yeah, hey, thanks Fastami for hosting and getting everything set up, and hey Karos and Jamie from IMPLS Atrofarm, glad to have you guys here.
I guess we could basically just start off a little bit about the way we kind of earn yield through our current tokens in the Pulse Bitcoin community, and then I guess we can after that kind of show how this partnership with these guys here has allowed us to actually increase our chain of yield farming capabilities. So I guess the first step for many people in our ecosystem, some choose to just buy the token, which is fair enough, but most choose to buy the ASIC mining token, and they stake that for 30 days, which is we call it mining, but it's essentially using proof of stake technology. So you buy some, let's say you buy 1,000 ASIC mining tokens, you lock them up in a 30-day mine, and you yield 3.75%, which is paid not in ASIC token, it's actually paid in Pulse Bitcoin. Then once you've got your Pulse Bitcoin, obviously you can stick your ASIC back into another mine for another 30 days, and the Pulse Bitcoin you have, you can then it's optional, you can choose to lock it, and then what that does is you can lock it for up to 1,000 days, and you can earn 1.5 CARN a day, which is has very limited supply and is a utility token used to activate and pay rewards for all the games in the Carnival, which is a CARN.app. There's lots of games there. You can stake your Pulse Doge there. So that's one way you can earn CARN by locking up your PLSB. You can also earn yield in Hex. So you can actually, if you lock 5,000 Pulse Bitcoin up for 5,000 days, you can actually earn up to 62.5 Hex a day. So at the moment we've got a community Hex miner, which pays for a lot of that. On Ethereum, I think it's around I think it got to around 1 million. It started 60-day rolling stake, and then what happens is after the 60 days you get a reload period. It pays out the people that own Watsas, and then it also pays out the Pulse Bitcoin lock holders, and it also does some burn functions of buying some tokens and burning them. And then yeah, so it's pretty good. Then also on the Ethereum side, we've also got some whales, because there are big hexagons. They've actually committed to donating directly to the Hex reward pool, so to ensure that everyone gets paid their dividends. And what's cool about this is you're essentially getting something like 3.7 x on a T-share from the same amount of money had you kind of bought Hex and just staked it. So you're getting 3.75 times the amount of Hex. But also you can actually scrape and withdraw that Hex or that CARN on a daily basis if you wish, or whenever you'd like. There's no fees for doing that. All you have to do is pay the gas fee. There is a registration fee, you have to pay if you want to activate Hex rewards. You pay in CARN. I think currently it's around 600 and something CARN if you want to activate the Hex rewards. So I think right now altogether it's probably going to cost you, the current market price is around $450 all in, probably to get yourself a 5,000 by 5,000. If you were to buy the Pulse Bitcoin, lock it up, activate the CARN and Hex rewards, probably cost you around $400. I haven't done the math exactly, so it changes. And then obviously you can earn your Hex, and you can also, some people are doing a ladder. But then, yeah, so what's also cool now, the Pulsechain side is just starting to get warmed up. I think they're not far from starting their rolling stake. I think they're around, Ben, I'm not sure if you know the exact figures, but I think they're around nearly 800,000 now. So I think once they get to around 1 million and a bit of change, that's going to start on that side. And what was interesting, we've just seen the Ethereum side. It ended its first 60-day stake. So some people have been taking rewards already, so we know that works nicely. But we actually saw a 10% increase, another 100,000 Hex go in on that reload period. So what's really exciting is to see how big this Hex stake gets. It really could turn into a monster over the years. So yeah, it's really bullish. We came from Hex, and this is our way to kind of tip our cap to Hex, because we are all Hexicans. Well, most of us are. Obviously, new people coming into our ecosystem are now learning about Hex due to this reward system. So it's pretty cool. Ben, do you want to talk a little bit more about that, or before I go on to the advantages now of this farming capabilities?
Sure. Why don't we let Karos and Jamie kind of introduce their protocols a bit, and then we'll kind of go back to kind of the TETRA strategy that I'm working on that kind of implements all with our ecosystem and with both of these protocols too.
Yeah, great idea. IMPLS, do you want to start, or should we start with Atrofarm?
Yeah, I can start. So yeah, my project IMPLS, we launched, I think it was about 2.5 months ago now. It was like Pulsechain was just getting started. It was like it's a month old. It was a month old, and we're a yield aggregator. So what that means is with our vaults, if you're farming on like PulseX, Atrofarm, Spark, any of those, you can deposit into our vaults, and it will auto compound your rewards. So say instead of, waiting a week and selling all the rewards that you got for that week, selling half and then making more LP, it'll automatically do that multiple times per day. And that's the main functionality. But what's cool with IMPLS is the vaults are also incentivized. So on top of you're getting that auto compounding, you're also right now, I think it's it's around 40% on each of the vaults, but that varies obviously with the price of IMPLS and everything. So you're getting that yield on top of your auto compounding, and that's claimable. And then also we have what's also different from other yield farms as well is we only have one primary yield farm, so it's really concentrated. So if you believe in the project and you want to make a bigger position, then you could provide liquidity, and that's sticking right around like 150% APR right now. And then the other cool thing is for single-sided staking, there's a small fee on the vaults, so 4% of the rewards are sent to the revenue share, so you can single-side stake your IMPLS and earn PLS. And right now that's right around 100%, but it varies as well. That's basically based on the vault TVL, which we don't have any deposit or withdrawal fees, so they go up and down. But it's been staying fairly right around 100 to 150. And yeah, it's 300,000 is the amount of tokens we have fixed. And with the emissions, there's a scaling factor. So, you know, right now you get in and I think our daily emissions are around like 350, but when we launched 2 months ago, it was 400. So every single day that's slowly becoming less and less, you know. So yeah, to distribute the full amount of tokens, it's going to take about 4 years. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good overview. I'll hand it off to Jamie.
Well, hi everyone. Thanks, Keros. Hey, so I'm Jamie. I'm dev of Atrofarm. So yeah, Atrofarm is a yield farming application. We incentivize liquidity provision. It started as a yield farming application for the Atropa ecosystem originally. When I noticed that it was very popular, but lots of pairs had very low liquidity. So at the start, we only had 414 pairs, but yeah, I started to expand horizons probably last week, I think, with especially when it was suggested by Marth, I think, to look into PLSB and PLSD. So yeah, that was a big success, and since then we are catering for lots of different projects on Pulsechain and rebranding as a Pulsechain liquidity hub. Yeah, we've got many pairs. We've got high APRs at the moment because we are still a pretty low market cap. So lots of room for growth. So it's a good time to I believe to be able to print more rewards and attract more users this way. What else can I say? Well, the Atrofa token is fixed supply as well. So 1 billion token supply. At current inflation, it will take a long time to reach 1 billion. Many years, I can't remember the calculation. But inflation changes. I tend to change depending on how the volume is, how the Atrofa token is doing, just trying to keep things in check. So rewards are not printed too fast if the chart can't handle it, I guess. We don't really have any single staked pool. I'm not really a big fan of single stakes, so I have put that on the back burner for now. We only had Atrofa single stake, of course, which for some reason hasn't been the most popular options. Like people have been very good at adding liquidity. And so the APRs on the single staking pool is still very high. And this morning we opened our first, this morning for me, we opened our first other single stake pool. So we have Mega with a Mega pool with the rewards are starting. They are starting in probably about 6 to 10 hours now. Yeah, so that's about it for Atrofarm, I think. Is there anything else that I missed? Or?
Yeah, I'd just like to say from our experience, first of all, it's been a pleasure with you guys because obviously you're a small team, but I think you guys you're a small community, but I can see you guys growing. You've already growing terrifically. I think deciding to open up to these different communities has been a great success for you guys, and for us, it really solved the problem. We were, as a community, trying to increase our liquidity. We have a lot of we kind of built up of quite a large community for a Pulsechain project, but a lot of small holders, a lot of people that are new to Pulsechain, a lot of people that are kind of just people that aren't necessarily very experienced with crypto. We even have a lot of our sharks that don't even really understand liquidity providing. So we had a bit of a problem with trying to increase our liquidity on the Pulsechain, and we were kind of in the market for looking for something like this, and we were talking to different groups who are offering these kind of services, and you guys have been really transparent, really helpful, and so I think you started off with a Pulse Doge pool, which was paired with a farm, which was paired on V2 with a Pulse Doge, and excuse me, and that very quickly got up to a TVL of $7,500. and the current APR there is 434%. So it's a great way for people that aren't locking up all of their Pulse Doge on the CARN app and staking it for a share of. I think they're getting paid in. I think it's 90-day rolling stakes, and they're getting paid in Hex, CARN, Pulse Bitcoin, and ASIC. So obviously, a lot of people don't like to put all of their stuff in one protocol. So this is a great way for them to earn yield in another way, and also help the community out by increasing liquidity. And then you kindly opened up a Pulse Bitcoin Atrofarm. So we had a lot of people jumping into that, really excited about that, because a lot of our a lot of people are locking up their Pulse Bitcoin. But this is now a second option of something they can do with their Pulse Bitcoin and address that liquidity issue. We've got just over $10,000 in there now, which is just on Pulse Bitcoin alone now brought up our. We were kind of sitting around below. I think it was around 15K for a little while after a sell-off, and now we've managed to increase Pulse Bitcoin liquidity up to over $28,000 in a very short period. So that's fantastic for us. Oh, and I should say as well, you kindly you offered us a non-native pair farm on Atrofarm, and we as a community had a little discussion and decided, what would be the best two tokens to kind of put in a farm, and we decided we were going to use CARN and Pulse Bitcoin because the methodology there thinking was a lot of our users still have they're farming their Pulse Bitcoin. It's just sitting in their wallet there if it's not locked. And this is a way that they can now earn fees and take it out of that farm whenever they like. So, and also we had a few people complaining that the CARN liquidity wasn't thick enough. A lot of people now are trying to get hold of CARN so they can pay their registration fee for locking it up and earning Hex and CARN. And CARN, yeah. So this has now enabled us. There's about just over $4,400 in there now. So it's nice. We've got a little bit of thick liquidity there, so people can actually now buy their CARN when they need it using their Pulse Bitcoin. And for someone like me, it was great. And I'm now earning 750% in that pool there, in that farm. And now I've got it over in the IMPLS. It's auto compounding for me. So yeah, really nice. Ben, did you want to talk about your strategy, which kind of perhaps talk about that?
Yeah, first I'll just go over the IMPLS pools or the vaults that we have. You went through everything with the Atrofarm farm. So Atrofarm is the underlying farms for the LP pairs to get deposited to. That gets paid out in the Atrofa token as straight yield, which you can either choose to restake in the single side stake pool for Atrofa, which I believe is I think it's, what's the APR on that, Jamie? It's like a few thousand percent or 1,200%.
Yeah, at the moment is 1,185%. I think I just checked before. Yeah, so it's very good.
So you have the option to restake that yield for incredible yield, to yield on top of yield, or obviously you can use that to DCA into other coins you like, or add to your LP positions if you want to take that. Now the great thing I like about IMPLS as a yield aggregator, they're auto compounding for all of the farms that they compound for. And Atrofarm is one of their main farms that they do. They also do the PulseX V2 farms. So currently IMPLS has farms for DAI-PLS at 72% APR with an additional 43% in IMPLS yield, which is 115%. So if you were just to go on to PulseX and stake your DAI-PLS, you're only going to earn right now, if I go there, on that pair, you're only going to earn 70% APR in INC token. But if you use IMPLS as an auto compounder, you're going to basically you move your LP. Let's use DAI-PLS as an example. Instead of just 70% APR straight in INC, you're going to be earning 72%, which is going to grow your LP. Half of that INC is going to, actually in this case, it's going to be 100% of the INC is going to be swapped and 50% is going to add to your DAI and 50% to your PLS, and then that's repaired in your vault. So you're growing your LP, getting a higher APR, and you're getting the additional 43% in the IMPLS emissions, which you would be harvesting, or you'd be claiming that as you build them up. So you're pretty much like almost doubling your yield if you were to use the underlying Pulse XV2 farms. Then they also have PLSX, PLS, same thing, higher APR on all of those. Hex, PLS, INC, PLSX for double the yield. They're also auto compounding for Spark Swap. They have a Spark in PLS. That's about 347% APY total with their IMPLS emissions added into that. On Pulse X, also Ethereum and PLS. They're doing a farm for Daytona Finance. It's the Tony PLS pair, 125% APR on that. And then they have the 3 farms for Atrofa, which are the Atrofa PLS native farm at 1,724% APR. And then our 2 farms that they added for us, which are PLSD and Atrofa. That one is a total of 523% instead of just being on Atrofarm at 434%, because you are getting that additional yield in IMPLS, which is 42%. And then the Atrofa PLSB pair, that's 379%, opposed to if you were just in the underlying farm on Atrofarm at 326%. So that's another 39% additional you're earning in IMPLS, and the LP is growing at a higher interest rate there too. So I love how it auto compounds for you. You don't have to do anything if you're in the vaults. How that works is, and Karos can kind of like describe this a little bit more. They have what's called a harvest bribe. So basically, like the amount of PLS for a specific vault will build up, I believe, from the vault fees. And you can see these harvest bribes get up to be like 700, 800, 900 PLS. So you can basically run that harvest function, and the bribe is you get paid out that PLS that's waiting for you. So if the gas only costs like, let's say 300-400 PLS, and you're snagging 800 PLS, and then you're basically like doubling your gas cost. You're like earning free PLS there, and then you can take the IMPLS that you're earning in all of your vaults, and you can turn around and restake that in the single sites vault for 100% APR. And that is actually cool because it's a revenue share. You're not getting paid out in the same token. You're getting paid out in PLS. Right now, it's 113% APR, and that's PLS you're earning. So that's really cool. Or you can pair it with PLS and earn more LP on that. So yeah, I really a fan of yield aggregators, because it like kind of does the work for you. You can see these vaults get auto compounded probably dozens of times a day from people running those harvest bribes. And I was in the last bull run. I made a lot, using yield aggregators on BSC network. There was an example. Beefy Finance, Atrofarm. I was using another one called A Cryptos, which is on like probably 10 different blockchains. So these are really popular protocols on other larger networks, and I think this is the first one on Pulsechain, which is really awesome. So definitely, kudos to you guys for getting this set up, and same for Atrofarm. I mean, I think this is one of my favorite yield farms now. The fees are lower. They're only a 2% deposit fee. Most other protocols are twice as much for your deposit or withdrawal fees. So that really helps out. And they're adding some really good pairs. They started with the Atropa ecosystem. So you'll see like PDI and Teddy Bear and all of those, Atropa token, all those. Now they're branching out to all the Pulsechain, other communities and ecosystems, and that's how we got started on there. So I think it's just going to keep growing larger and larger, both protocols.
Yeah, that was one of the things that that brought me over was because I was actually, this is a fork of Cycle Finance, which was on Avalanche, and it did really well. And like you were saying, the last time that top of the bull run, I was in that yield farm with the aggregator, and it was a blast at the top. The tokenomics, I actually used the same tokenomics because I really liked them, just the smaller supply. But yeah, that was one of the reasons that I just decided to build on Pulsechain. Was the PulseX APRs were really good, and there was no competition. So I was like, oh, that's a good opportunity. And now that I'm here, done some networking and everything. I'm actually running helping with a couple of projects and running this project and doing a Pulse news website. So I'm getting pretty embedded in the ecosystem.
Yeah, that's great. And so before you came to Pulsechain with this project, had you done anything on any other chains or?
Not projects. I've worked with a few projects, but I've been a developer for like 15 years since I was young. So I've been developing for a while, but I've got into DeFi. It was really like in 2021. That was when I started playing with the Solidity. So yeah, that's where I got started. But these will be my first, projects that I'll be the founder and hopefully continue to grow the team over time as well.
Awesome. And yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your NFT project, the PLSB Bros? It has PLSB in the name, so we got to plug that.
Oh yeah, yeah. My buddy was working on some NFT art, and this was actually right after I launched IMPLS. And I was like, well, come over here, on this chain, and we'll build something. So he spent, a month doing getting the art and everything already. And we launched it as just an NFT project for profile pictures. Basically, we're trying to go for the standard default. When you think of Pulsechain, you think of that NFT project. And then we ended up, actually, it was one of the things, because I have people come in all the time and they're like, can you do a farm for, so-and-so project? But we can't really add farms. We can only add vaults. So one of the things I wanted to do was we added the bro token, like BRRO. And I put 222 on each of the NFTs. So that was like the initial distribution. And then I locked up 99.5% into a farming contract that lets me add pools, so I can add any pairs we want to add. We just started that, so it's really just the primary pair now. But and yeah, and then eventually I can add those farms as vaults as well. So it just gave me a lot more options. And also, like I said, I had my buddy that was doing the art. So, yeah, I just kind of collaborated as the developer. And the first day, we had a mishap on the initial launch, and we messed up the tokenomics, and we had to relaunch it. And then I was getting the farm set up again, and we got them all set up. And I was doing the emissions for the farms, and I calculated it using the old tokens price, which was like a lot less than the one that we relaunched. So I found the bug and I fixed it, and we had the APRs for the first day was like 33,000 or something. So all the early guys pretty much doubled their bag. But yeah, just kind of going for the degen yield farms, NFT angle on that. I also have a coin flip game to really, really dig in with the degen vibe, and it's going to be called the Doubler. And it'll let you just bet your bro, basically, high or low, or wreck your riches, I think we were going to go for. But yeah, that's the Please Bro project.
Yeah, I really like the PLSB Bros NFTs. I probably one of my favorite NFT collections now on Pulsechain. Like all the images are really cool. So I minted almost a dozen of them when they were at the initial mint price, 150,000 PLS each originally. Now they're at 500,000 PLS each. So and these yeah, they contain the bro token inside of them. So I think the amount of PLS that those tokens are actually valued at pretty much doubled since I minted. So that's kind of cool. I see there's 466 minted out of a few thousand available, so they're still up for there. And then on the printer tab, you can basically, I took all the bro out of them. They're at 75% APY for the single stake pool. But if you pair it with PLS, it's like 3,300%. So that's, I'll probably end up pairing over there. But no, it's a really cool collection. I like how you now can basically add your own farms for like any tokens you choose. So I think that's how we kind of started talking to. We were, because IMPLS platform only can like aggregate and compound for their vaults can only compound for existing farms. So that was kind of like an issue, having to like find a yield farm that would actually list us so that we could then get on IMPLS as a compound vault. And we were originally kind of talking about trying to get some of our tokens on this PLSB Bro printer yield farm, which I think you're going to be adding more tokens for, so we could definitely kind of explore some other pairs to go on there as well. But it was really cool that I got in touch with Jamie on Atrofarm's Telegram, and we kind of started what would be the best tokens to kind of list. He had already had some interest from some other guys in the community on Pulse Doge, so we started with the PLSD and Atrofa native token pair, and then we expanded from there with the two other farms. So yeah, Jamie, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your background, how you got into crypto and DeFi and becoming a dev and everything?
Yeah, sure. So I have started DeFi probably about a bit more than between 2 and 3 years ago, and just as the last bull run started, I think, I've always been interested in like diving and stuff, and it took me a while to just really get into it. But at the start of this year, I decided to go for it and just quit my jobs, which I'd been doing for like over 10 years, and went on to learn Solidity and JavaScript and React, and just learned for months. And Atrofarm is the result of all that. So I've always loved yield farming. Like I've always loved pancake swap forks. I think there are lots of fun, high yield, and when it's not a scam, it can actually, you can have a lot of fun. But there's also a lot of scam in these things. You can just like people just copy paste the code and they launch something, and then we know the rest. So I started Atrofarm as for that, basically, to just provide a safe, just a safety farm where I know no one is going to get rugged. So yeah, that's how it came to be.
Oh, on that point, you've just upgraded your security after some requests. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I was
Yes,
actually
sure.
going to lead into the security questions for both protocols too. So after you tell us about your securities at IMPLS, because a lot of the community members, that's like one thing that's really important for them to get into these farms and vaults. So.
Yeah, for sure. So the thing is with Atrofarm is it's a straight fork of the master chef of so pancake swap fork, like sushi swap master chef, and that's been around for years. So there's no I haven't changed anything. I just added a claim all function that everyone loves. It's quite a funny thing. That's the only change to it, and so it hasn't. It's a contract that I don't think exploitable. No one has exploited it in the past, so I don't see a point I don't see the point to spend a lot of money to audit it when it has been audited already many times. The code is for everyone to read. It's verified. What I did though, because I understand that trust me, bro, is not really a great thing. I did. Go to ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT to review the contract, like function, like I posted it on Twitter. So it reads the functions, what they can do, all of that. I asked ChatGPT if the dev could like steal any money, basically, which came back negative. So it's a simple contract where there is no, it doesn't interact with any other contract. It's a simple single page contract, which I think is straightforward. So I thought ChatGPT could do a good job at explaining what functions do. So that's the reason why we're not audited. But what I did though was put it under a time lock of 12 hours because it just provides more peace of mind for people, I think. It's just that just in the case where, despite all that, I have hidden whatever code that no one has seen, well, it gives people 12-hour notice to get out, let's say, or if anything happens. So, yes. So basically, with a time lock, I need to schedule a transaction, and the minimum delay is 12 hours. After 12 hours, I need to execute this transaction. So during these 12 hours, people can review the transactions that I have scheduled, and they can they've got 12 hours to decide what they want to do about that. So yeah, I thought that would just give I think it's a good it's a good thing for people to have this extra layer.
Yeah, I know. Like the time locks have been really successful on other yield farm protocols on BSC and other networks that I've farmed on in the past. And I know they've we were talking on your community AMA a few days ago about notifications, how users would get notified, and we were talking about if it's possible to add a Telegram bot that whenever the time lock's triggered, it gets like a notification where people can kind of go and review that code. And I think you also said that you were going to be putting something on the main page where the time lock gets activated. You'll actually see that in the details of that, right?
Yes. So I thought about all that, and I don't think I'll do a Telegram bot for the reason that you might get a notification when I schedule a transaction, but his message is going to get lost in the chat. So I don't think it's going to be necessarily helpful. What I'm going to do though is add a page on the main website where people can go at any time, where all the scheduled transaction will be and stay there with a countdown as to when it's going to be executable, and also another tab on this page where you can review all the transactions that have been executed in the past. Because I just thought just this Telegram, the notification will just disappear. It's 12 hours. You don't know. If you come in the chat 10 hours later, and you might completely miss this notification. But if every few hours you can review the page at any time, I guess, and it will be there. The other thing I want to say about that is, because I'm implementing that, you guys need to trust me again. So it's all good that people get notified or they can go on a page, but realistically, I could just I could fake this page. I could just turn off the bot for the Telegram, and no one will will receive a notification. No one will see anything. So I think it's still very good due diligence for people to check for themselves, or maybe have someone that's outside of my control to implement something which can't be cheated. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I'm glad you're addressing this because because as we said before, if people aren't 100% kind of sure of the security protocols, then they're more likely just to put in a little bit of play money. Yeah. And we really want people to kind of feel confident to put in a little bit more.
For sure, yes. No, for sure. It's I completely agree that it's trust is a big thing. Like you've got to have some safeguard in place here.
Yeah, and it'll help your overall TVL and the liquidity and all the pairs grow too, with people having more confidence and peace of mind that everything's kind of secure and also and Karos, can you also kind of go over some of the security measures that IMPLS has in place as well?
Yeah, kind of along the same story, since we forked from Cycle, that gave me some peace of mind in that, I used that protocol and it had over like $21 million in it at one point. So when I went into it, I had that in mind, and I spent, probably a solid 4 months getting this protocol before I even was deciding where to launch it, just learning the ins and outs of it. So I have a strong understanding of how it works, basically top to bottom. And one of the key things security wise is that all the vaults and the yield farm and the revenue share, they all use similar to the Master Chef, there's staking rewards, which is another really popular staking contract that it's basically just been battle tested. There's a lot of projects use it, so that's solid. And yeah, with our next release, we're with these the Fux vaults. That my plan with that is when I'm releasing those, prior to releasing those, is to do a full audit as well, because that'll be introducing code into the code base that hasn't been battle tested and hasn't had a lot of TVL in it. But also with the vaults, because one of the questions I get quite a bit is, is there admin keys, anything like that? And there is admin keys because I have to be able to add vaults. But with all these vaults, that even with the admin keys, there's no way that I could access any funds or anything like that. Like I can't just withdraw, or I can't just mint tokens or anything like that. So I like to reassure users of that even if say something was to happen to me, you guys could go on the site or the contract and just withdraw your funds. Like there's no way they could just be taken. So yeah, that's that's pretty much top to bottom.
Yeah, and I've seen this asked a lot in the Pulse Police Telegram, where they review code and everything. And for the Daytona Finance contract code, when they reviewed, they basically said it's also a fork of Pancake Swap Master Chef, just like Atrofarm is as well, and you're aggregating for the Atrofarm vaults, and the same as PulseX actually. So they're basically saying, these farms are just as safe, or I mean, they're the same risks that would be associated with PulseX V1 farms. So the only difference is everybody seems to trust Richard Hart more than any other new project or platform coming up. So that's really the only other peace of mind that people that are farming on PulseX get. But the same thing basically is what you're saying, where you can change the weights of the vaults and the emissions, and you can move a vault to like inactive, but you can't just like yank funds out of them. That's like not part of the protocols, at least to my understanding. So
sorry, I know Mike has had his hand up for a little while, and he just asked a question in the Atrofa Telegram. So let's bring Mike up. I think you had some questions, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. Appreciate it, mate. Yeah, g'day, guys. It's I just had a few questions about the liquidity providing. I haven't I've done a little bit with the PulseX and the Ink token and stuff like that, and like I've been in the Pulse Dogecoin, Pulse Bitcoin community from day one, so kind of seen all the ups and downs of everything, and got a little bit of Pulse Bitcoin and stuff lying around, and I've earned a good amount of CARN. So instead of just leaving it sit there, I'm just wanting to get some clear info on sorry about that. Just wanting to get some clear info on like what being an LP provider does, and like what the rewards are paid out in, and just stuff like that.
Who wants to answer that one? Maybe we should start with liquidity providing, just if you're doing it native on PulseX, the advantages, disadvantages, and then if you do it through Atrofarm or IMPLS. Who wants to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, I can just share a little of my experience. So far, I've been using IMPLS for the last few weeks. I've moved a lot of my LPs from PulseX over there. I have right now in the vaults, I have let's see, I started with DAI PLS. I have PLSX pairs, INC PLSX, and then I moved into the Atrofa and PLSB once that became available. I've actually doubled my yield pretty much since having those on PulseX, because I was just earning the INC daily, and I've kind of been checking my LP positions against the calculator on PulseX yield farm. That's kind of the only way you can really see how your LP grows to me right now. Plus the IMPLS emissions on top of that. So yeah, I've doubled my yield from what I was getting before. On Atrofarm, I just got into the I was in the I think it was the Atrofa PLSB and until that moved to until the vault opened up on IMPLS, and then I moved that LP over there for the extra IMPLS emissions. And then also the CARN PLSB pair that got set up last night. So I've moved liquidity into there as well. And I've seen that APY. It came out as something like crazy. I mean, it was like 1.3 million% when there was only like a few dollars in there. And then it went down to like 15,000% when there was a couple hundred. And then it settled around a few thousand%. And then today, because we've doubled the TVL from yesterday, we're up to like $4,300 in that CARN PLSB pool. Now it's 767% APR.
Mm-hmm.
So I've earned quite a bit of Atrofa tokens there already.
So that's what you're earning. So like with the CARN PLSB liquidity providing, that's you're earning the Atrofa token.
Yeah, you're earning anything on Atrofarm on their farms. You're earning a Atrofa token.
Okay.
You can basically like harvest that Atrofa token like anytime you want.
Yep.
You can do it multiple times a day or daily, weekly, whatever you feel. They have a single side stake vault that's almost 1,200% for Atrofa, and I don't think there's any vault fees. Yeah, another cool thing is if you're staking anything that is paired with Atrofa, whether it's the Atrofa single side stake vault or if you're staking the LPs, let's see, PLSB with Atrofa, PLSD with Atrofa, then you don't have any deposit fee. Otherwise, if it's a non-native pool, then it's 2% fee, which is still half the kind of industry standard, which Daytona and others around 4%. So that 2% I've already made back in like one day. I mean, it's right now yielding 2% a day. So I think that's a pretty good trade-off.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like I said, because I've just got PLSB and CARN just sitting in my wallet doing nothing. So, and I just wanted to make sure that something like this was safe. That's all. And like in regards to like the impermanent loss side of things. So like for instance, if more people are trying to swap their PLSB for CARN, does that mean that I'll end up with more CARN than Pulse Bitcoin?
Yeah, it's the same as if you were just in a PulseX, V1 or V2 pool. It's going to be the IL would be dependent on the volatility and the fluctuation of the pool. Like it's almost like a balancing act, like a scale. So if the price of one token goes up, then you lose more of that token, but you gain it on the other side minus a little bit of impermanent loss. And then if that token goes down, then you're gaining more of that token, and the one that's staying level or going up, you're losing a portion of that. So it kind of balances. I'll see, like I was doing this with PLS and PLSX, and initially when Pulsechain launched and PLS did like a 3x run up, I ended up having a lot less PLS to the to my other the other side, and then once the price is kind of like PLS, or actually no, I think this is for the DAI one, PLS and DAI, and then once the price of PLS went down quite a bit, it kind of balanced back out to be right around like my start point. So if it's only a loss when you withdraw from the pool from the liquidity pair. But yeah, I mean, also the yield on top that you're earning is going to pretty much make up for any impairment loss. But it shouldn't be too bad because people are there's some people, and this is actually why we chose this pair. Exactly what you said. You said you had PLSB and your in CARN both just sitting in your wallet doing nothing because I imagine that you probably locked up PLSB into the NFTs and you were earning CARN free that way.
Exactly.
And then the PLSB that you didn't lock up is just dormant. So we wanted to be able to give other yield opportunities on both tokens because at this point there wasn't any way to earn yield on CARN. You were just using those to pay for the registrations and pay for the the different stake pools on the Carnival app. now you can earn yield on that, which is awesome. And then for people that don't want to lock up all their Pulse Bitcoin in the NFTs, you can lock half up and do half in a an LP, and put it in the farm, or it just gives you more flexibility there. So that's why we chose this pair. But yeah, I mean the impairment loss. I mean, I'm sure that there'll be people that will be trying that as they earn CARN. Some people will be selling, and they'll probably be selling into Pulse Bitcoin, bringing the price up, but then maybe cashing out from there. And then there'll also probably be people trying to accumulate more CARN because it's so rare. It's only like a 1.2 million supply on Pulsechain, I think, something like that. And majority of that's actually in different, the reward pools, the different LP pairs, and the all of the pools. So a lot of it's locked up already. So yeah, that's one reason we went with this one. But yeah, I mean they'll kind of fluctuate, but you can kind of track that, I believe. Jamie, you guys just got on DBank, and I was trying to look this up for that one, but I think it's your other farms are all listed on DBank. I haven't seen this one pop up yet though.
Yes, I don't know why. I think maybe because the bank does not track any of those tokens. Maybe I think that might be why it's not showing. Like most of the other pairs, they are with tokens that are tracked. At least one of the tokens are tracked. So I'm thinking maybe that's why.
So are the other pools that you have with the PDAI and the Atropa token, and
yes,
those are all
yeah,
showing.
I think so. Yeah, that's right. And I think a lot of them are with Atrofa, which is not tracked. And yeah, maybe that's my only the only thing I could start off why it wasn't showing.
Yeah, we were talking about if there's a way to actually see what your LP contains on the actual UI, where you could see how much of each token that you have, and I mean, I guess you would have to loop it through DBank, so that would only work for the tokens that are showing on DBank, I guess.
No, I think I can like find. I think I know how to just I just need to find how much of each token LP token contains, and then do a calculation. I don't think it's difficult. It's just I just need to find the time to do it. That's all, and get it on the UI.
Yeah, that would be great, because then users could kind of track what their kind of impairment loss is looking, if they want to withdraw until the prices, the volatility kind of settles down, and then get back into the farm. And that I was talking to Karos about that too. I think you were making some updates to your UI soon too, and you had some other things on your roadmap coming that maybe you want to kind of discuss some of those things too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what you're describing, I have just been sending people to the bank, just to get that data, but it's definitely something we can put into the UI and have a breakdown of what the LP is made of. And yeah, as far as things that we're working on outside of the new strategies, we've had requests for calculators, kind of similar to what is on PulseX, that will calculate your returns. And an idea that I've been working on is analytics, kind of, which would give you just more data on your returns over time. I've been looking into that. I've been checking out some decentralized databases to kind of keep track of that in a decentralized manner. And yeah, that's one of the next things. It's just the analytics, and basically you'll be able to see what's happened in the past, and kind of predict where things are headed with some graphs and just more information for our users.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then what you said you're going to be incorporating some FUX pools as well, the PHUX ecosystem. Do you know which pools you're planning to add initially for those?
I know that the stable pool that they have, that one's been requested a few times. But I haven't really got to the point where, right now I've just been doing the strategy and the vaults and putting that. I've been starting putting that into testing this past week. So I haven't got to the part where, I'm choosing which vaults we're going to do, but I'm probably going to mostly leave it up to the community. But I do know that the stable pool has been like a really requested one. So that'll probably be one of the first ones.
Yeah, the stablecoin pool would be awesome. That's so they have one. It's I believe it's 3 tokens, USDC, USDT, and DAI. Let me see if I can see what that's right now. That's at a I think it was around a 20 or 30% APR last time I saw it. And then they also have another stablecoin pool, and that's I believe it's just USDC and the CST, the Coast stable peg token. So, and that's a higher APR. I think it was up around 40, 50% APR last I saw. So, being able to earn in your stables is great because I mean, as you cash out, your yields, and if you want to get into a stable coin, then you have a place to park them for earning yield on top of that. It's always good. So.
Yeah, the compounding with the stable farms is fun too, because then, you're taking those Fux rewards and, when you're compounding, it's turning them right into DAI and USDT, which isn't going to vary in value, so that's kind of cool. You're turning those Fux right into, a stable coin.
Yeah,
and then the extra yield on top as well. Yeah.
Oh, you'll have extra yield in the IMPLS token as well on top of that.
Hey guys, just wanted to say this is obviously Ethereum chain rather than obviously everything we're talking about tonight is Pulsechain.
This is on Pulsechain.
But a little bit of news here. It just came in. The market closed 1 hour ago, and EPLSB has actually broken out. Had a 55% day. So now we're above 5 cents, and we're currently sitting up from yesterday, 41% up. So it's been a long-awaited breakout there. So some good news. There was a question from Hex Diablo. He asked me to ask. He's asking. He's interested in a PLSB farm. Is that something that anyone else would be interested in? Ben, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I was thinking to have one of the tokens paired with PLS. I was originally thinking ASIC PLS to grow the liquidity on that. It's a little thin, but I mean, yeah, we could look into both of those for sure with Atrofarm, because we would need it would have to be on a farm, not or if we had it on the PLSB Bro farm, the printer, that would work too, because then I'm sure that Jamie would be adding vaults for some of the farms that he has on there. So, and then another one I was going to ask, Karos about. So on the Fux pools, I know that there's some that are like multi tokens, not just 2 tokens. Some of them are like up around 3, 4, half a dozen tokens or more. How would that work for the pools? Are you only able to add the double token pools, or are you able to add like the multi token pools on the vaults that you do?
With the balancer, it'll automatically balance your deposits, so you can deposit 1 token and it will, it'll be balanced, and you can just deposit 1 token. I'll probably, like on the stable, I can just have it deposit DAI, and the pool will balance itself. I'll have to look more into it if it's like something, if it's like a pool that has just like 6 random tokens and not like a primary one. But yeah, I'll have to take it on a per, as I'm doing the vaults basis, basically.
Oh, okay. So any token in that pool, you basically can add, and it'll get kind of like that same APR as if it was like any of the other tokens that are present there.
Yeah, well, with Balancer, like say if you were depositing 1 token into a pool that had multiple ones, that's kind of what it does, is it'll take your deposit and it balances that pool, so you can just deposit that one. That's why if you're trying to deposit into like a pool with multiple tokens and you're only depositing 1, there'll be like a slippage. That's kind of how it balances itself. But yeah,
Oh, I
as
see.
for compounding, I'll basically be looking if the pair has like a primary token like PLS or a state, you know what I mean? That's what we'll want to be putting in. Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we actually have about 6 pools that have our ecosystem tokens already on Fux.io. The largest one, it's about 16,000 in liquidity. It's actually 7 tokens. It's PLSB, ASIC, PLSD from Pulsechain, and then it's and PLSX, and then PLSB, PLSD ASIC from Ethereum chain, and that's at 29% APY. And then there's another one that's just PLSB ASIC PLSD that's at about 15% APY. So those are a few that we could discuss with you, down the line once you get that the vaults up for PUH UX to kind of like look at and considering as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're looking forward to some new. I think 9-inch will be another good one that will probably have some high yield vaults as well, coming right up here. There is a few other farms that I've seen pop up, but I kind of like to wait a month or so and see how they're doing, before we jump right into them. But yeah, there's definitely a lot more opportunities that'll come up as well.
Yeah, definitely good to kind of wait and see how those farms do, because I know we've had some recent ones that have kind of rugged, and no one wants to be like a test case or anything.
Is there anyone that had any questions? If anyone's got questions, please just raise your hand and we'll pull you up. It can be about anything. Thanks. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, I was just saying, so you guys revived the Pulse Bitcoin project, right? It was the original creator kind of bailed on it, and you guys revived it as a community, right?
Yeah, well, originally the original dev for it, he was he just created some absolutely amazing tokenomics with a simple concept with PLSD, just originally starting the idea to just make a much improved Pulse Dogecoin. Obviously, Pulse Dogecoin as a meme token, obviously it had success from going hugely viral and people like Elon Musk supporting it. But it's very rare. A lot of these meme tokens, they're kind of a load of crap, really, tokenomics wise, because they inflate at such a huge rate. So he kind of had the idea to take the branding of a kind of token, which is probably at the time the most well known branding wise kind of token amongst people that aren't really into crypto. So you've got people think of a Bitcoin, and they think of at the time they think of a kind of meme token, and they think of Doge. So he kind of just very cleverly took the branding of that and the awareness of that, and basically just improved it by making it DeFi, no admin keys, limited supply, and actually now later on making it actually deflationary. So that was a really cool idea. It had a very loyal kind of following, and there were some quite a few kind of well-known people like Ryan Lopez, who's kind of well-known Hex Shark, kind of got behind the project. Timothy Benjamin, another guy famous for having the Hex Tesla and all that, driving around the country, seeing a lot of people, and quite a few other people kind of came in, and one of them being Gunther, the accountant. He came in and he kind of led the charge. He was never involved in development of the project, but he was just a whale that came in. Obviously, after he left the whole Pulse Bitcoin project to launch his own kind of tokens, what he did was he kind of dumped the price, just like he did to the Hedron guys. So yeah, everyone was kind of feeling pretty low and down in the dumps about it. I think a lot of people were just pretty much done with the whole ecosystem, going to move on. Took a 95% loss, and yeah, everyone kind of thought, okay, this is it. Well, a lot of us were kind of like, well, no, we still love the code. The founder's kind of gone Satoshi mode. Some of the whales have done the dirty on us. Well, we still like this. We've still got a strong community here. Hex did a 95% retrace. Lots of successful Bitcoins do those retraces. If we love this project, why don't we just keep going? And we've done that, and it's actually been an amazing journey. And what seemed like a disaster at the time has actually been a blessing, really. We've all learned so much. We've almost solidified our community even stronger with all this kind of hardship we've been through. And now we're just starting to see the fruits of it. So since that kind of huge sell-off, we've just seen higher lows. And now obviously EPLSB has just broken up. So we're about 380% up or so from that catastrophic event. And we're just seeing the lockups accelerate. We've got some new whales in now, which are kind of all working together, and they're very much talking to the community rather than kind of talking behind the scenes. And the whole thing's just a volunteer community. We've got so many passionate people coming up, setting up events. It's just been fantastic.
Yeah, and so something that I just kind of started last night was working on a TETRA strategy. Fast Amy did a live stream with Neil for T-Shares, one of the TETRA guys, and he's pretty close with the founder, Stu, as well. So we're going to be pretty integrated with TETRA and some of their strategies. So I just kind of like wrote up this strategy last night, that incorporates all the yield opportunities that we currently have with the tokens in the ecosystem, and got to include both Atrofarm, yield farming, and the IMPLS vaults in the strategies. I can kind of like walk through a little bit. Let me bring that up. I sent it in both your telegrams earlier, so we could kind of have an idea, how it works. But are you guys familiar with TETRA at all? The automated, they basically automate DeFi, functions where anything you can do manually with your MetaMask, you can program to be automated. So you just hit one button and it runs. It could do like 50 different transactions, like over different time periods. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the protocol at all, or.
I'm not familiar with that one particularly, but that sounds pretty cool. And actually, now I'm reminded that someone sent that to me earlier on. I'll have to go back in and look it up in my Telegram.
Yeah, that might have been me earlier, just so we kind of had a talking point here. But yeah, so basically with the strategy that we're going to kind of incorporate with all the yield earnings that we have now, it starts all with buying the ASIC token. You lock the ASIC token 30 days to mine PLSB. When you claim the PLSB, you lock that into the yield earning NFTs, which earn CARN and Hex. It's 62.5 Hex a day for the max 5,000 PLSB, 5,000 day lockups in 1.5 CARN a day. So it's 1,500 CARN over the life of the 1,000 days, and about 370,000 Hex per NFT, I think on the 5,000 days. Then you can, as you're kind of earning that, you're able to actually harvest both the Hex and the CARN daily, or whenever the reward pool has enough of the tokens to claim. So you can then take that Hex you earn. You can stake the Hex on the traditional Hex front end, or you can deposit to the Hex community miner in the CARN.app. That earns you more Hex plus Hedron if you're staking Hex and using the Hedron or ICOSA site. You can then take the Hedron and stake on ICOSA to earn more Hedron and ICSA, ICOSA token. Then you can restake the Hedron and ICOSA. Then you pair your PLSB and CARN that you earned into an LP, deposit that into Atrofarm. You earn the yield in Atrofa token, plus you're growing your LP because you're earning the PulseX V2 swap fees as well on that on the PLSB CARN pair. Then you can swap a portion of the yield earned for PLSD, pair the Atrofa token with PLSD and PLSD and Atrofa, or PLSB and Atrofa LPs and Atrofarms. Then you can go to IMPLS Auto compounding vaults to deposit your Atrofa PLSB or your Atrofa PLSD LPs. You're going to be earning more Atrofa if you're on Atrofa farms. But if you're on IMPLS vaults, you're going to be growing your PLSD Atrofa or PLSB Atrofa LPs from the auto compounding, and also earning those PulseX V2 swap fees, plus earning an additional bonus yield in the IMPLS emissions. Then you can stake the Atrofa or the IMPLS in the single side stake vaults that you both your protocols have for high APR. Earn more Atrofa or earn PLS from the revenue share of the single side stake vault. Swap a portion of the Atrofa and or the IMPLS for any of the 4 coins in the 4 ecosystems, which ASIC, PLSB, PLSD, CARN. Restart your previous steps, compound the ASIC miners, deposit to the ASIC community miner, or earn more PLSB, create more PLSB lock NFTs, earn more CARN plus Hex rewards, restart your previous steps, stake the PLSD in the Carnival.app stake pool, which earns PLSB, PLSD, ASIC, and Hex. And then you can restake all those yields, restart your ASIC miners, create more yield earning NFTs, and compound your LPs in the farms and vaults for more yield. Then you can restart the TETRA strategies all over again from step 1. So that's like a pretty lengthy list of functions, but with TETRA, you could do all of those functions with one button, because once that strategy is implemented, then anybody else can do that, and they just have to have that one token ASIC to start mining with to earn all of those other all those yields and all those different tokens. So it's pretty amazing, to me.
Yeah,
And,
quite the strategy.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, while we were talking about the single-sided staking on each of the platforms, just one of my strategies, if I'm in a yield farm, because like we were talking about with the IL earlier, one of my strategies is I'll do my farming in the higher APR primary farm, but then you tuck away your profits in that single-sided farm. So, when the market does run, anything you have in that single-sided is gonna, go up with the price, so you can take it out and trade on the market. I think that's key, just to have that in there, just because that way, if the price goes way up and you're all in farming, yeah, you're gonna get a little bit of profit, but you're also gonna eat that IL, which is important to remember.
Yeah, we can get you guys both your protocols linked up with TETRA, the TETRA guys as well. Actually, I think one of them just jumped on here. I don't know if that's MA, if you want to bring him up.
Yeah, I just let them know in the main chat, in the TETRA main chat, that we are talking about their protocol. They're big supporters of our ecosystem, and we're big supporters of them. Obviously, they are, they don't really support publicly anything, because they are just a kind of a tool. They basically help you automate everything. So yeah, it's really exciting. If you go on my YouTube channel, you can actually see a full interview with Nilful T-Shares, and I think he's just jumped in. So I'll invite him up to speak. He might not be in the mood for speaking, but if he is, that's great. If not, we can do a bad job of describing TETRA to you guys.
Yeah, there was a recent live stream, I think a few weeks ago, and it was like 4 or 5 of the pretty good sized Hex Pulse YouTubers that did a live stream, I think with Stu, the founder, and I know it was Westcott Crypto, Corey Gary, and like 3 or 4 other guys. I don't remember the other ones, but that I mean, they're getting a lot of exposure already in the Hex and Pulsechain community. So I mean, integrating with them for your protocols as well, it would be great, because then it gets the eyeballs on Atrofarm and IMPLS as people go on and see what strategies are available, and you can make your own strategies with different with your tokens or with some of the other tokens in the farms and the vaults. And
No, I didn't invite you to speak, but obviously you don't have to.
So yeah, if you guys want to anything else you want to share about your roadmaps, Jamie, I know you were talking about before. You were talking about potentially adding like a token lottery, anything else like that. If you want to discuss it, we did have actually some lotteries, I think daily, weekly, and lotteries on the CARN.app at one point. I'm not sure if those got put on hold, but there's some of the guys in the community that know more about that too. May want to discuss.
Yes, so the thing is with a reward token like Atrofa, after a while, well, the value might go down because it's something needs to be done to kind of tackle the inflation and provide some value to the token itself that is more so than just rewarding. So the idea that I had first of all is implementing a bit more of like staking pools. So, but not like the mega pool, which is our first one and that everyone can access. I wanted to implement a staking that is basically token gated and only available to people who provide liquidity for Atrofa. I guess that will be a single staking will be like a benefit of supporting the Atrofa ecosystem rather than just going there, putting tokens that are not related to Atrofa and just getting reward, anyone being able to extract value from the Atrofa ecosystem without providing any. Then we also talked, well, the lottery system seems to be a big winner in the community, that like a lot of people are very keen on it. So I think that will come after the staking. I will be working on, yes, a lottery system. The mechanics, I think, will have to be discussed because there was lots of great ideas. So trying to find something that is not going to be boring after a short period of time and that people still wants to, they still want to keep engaging with. So the point of these two things as well will be to generate fees, and all the fees will be used to buy back and burn Atrofa at the same time. So yes, so that's the first two items that will be that we will be adding to the ecosystem. Afterwards, yes, I was keen on implementing as well a bit like PancakeSwap's got a BNB or cake price prediction game, and I was keen to implement that as well. So like it's little games where the last 5 minutes, and within the last 5 minutes you can deposit some I don't know, IMPLS or Atrofa token in a pool, and you bet whether or not the price of PLS will be up or down in 5 minutes. And yeah, so people play against each other like this. So that was another idea. Yeah.
So with the single side staking, you would basically have to already have a Trofa, or you would have to have some of the LP pairs in the farms to basically participate up into like the value of what your deposits are, to something like that. Right?
Yeah, more or less, yes. The idea, which is that I've got in mind at the moment, which I will seek for community feedback as well, is focusing on the main pair, probably Atrofa PLS or Atrofa. Well, I mean, I don't know, but yes, people will be able to then access staking of some blue chip tokens, like popular tokens, and but they will be able to stake only a multiplier of what they have. So let's say 5 times, for example, someone who provide $100 of LP might be able to stake $500 worth of the other token, or something like this, basically.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's it keeps the staking kind of like exclusive to people, and it could be a nice treat, I guess, if I can provide nice APR for some blue chip tokens that people have sitting in their wallets. It could be an interesting thing for people to be able to access without like the value of Atrofa being vamped by people just jumping in the pool with like this.
Yeah, and for our roadmap outside of the vaults and strategies, add in vaults, strategies for new protocols, that'll be ongoing, for the life of the project. The earning calculators and the analytics are like we talked about before. And also something I didn't mention was I'd like to move it towards like a DAO structure. So token holders can make proposals and also vote on those proposals. Proposals could be anything like new vaults to add or changes to the protocol itself. But I'd like to move towards that more community controlled. I'd still be the founder, obviously doing the programming and everything, but the community would just kind of have more say and be able to vote with the tokens they do have. And then also just like partnerships and collaborations, really just, working with as many projects as we can, helping the ecosystem as a whole grow. Yeah, that's really the direction we'll be taking.
And you're going to be starting to add more farms on your PLSB Bro like printer site as well, right? So you'll be kind of being able to choose, like pick and choose which pairs that you'll be able to get on the IMPLS vaults that way as well, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'll probably start. I have a couple projects in mind that I've reached out to start adding some farms onto there. I also have the coin flip game. That was another little thing that I'm working on for that project as well. There'll just be another use case, and if you hold the NFT, you'll passively get a 1% fee of anyone that uses the doubler or the coin flip. So that'll be another benefit of just holding the NFT is getting that revenue share. But yeah, as far as farms, I have a couple in mind, but yeah, we're pretty much open on there. The biggest thing with the farms, what I want to do is that's just to get more eyes on the project as well. So I'm open to really any communities that are looking to get a farm on the PLS, bro.
Yeah, we could definitely take some of our tokens and either pair them up with your native token, the Bro token, or with PLS or any of the other popular tokens to add on there as well. So
just make them aware, Neil for T-Shares, who's one of the admins over at TETRA, he did try and come up and speak, but he's just having some connection issues, so he apologizes. But hopefully we'll catch him next time.
yeah, we got a couple other guys that just jumped up as speakers if you want to ask any questions or anything.
Execute, do you want to go ahead? Welcome to the chat.
Hey, what's going on?
Good, thank you, man. What's on your mind?
Just learning about what's going on in here.
Basically just introducing IMPLS Finance and Atrofarm. We're the Pulse Bitcoin community, also representing Pulse Doge and the ASIC token, and CARN. Yeah, we've kind of had our ecosystem of internal kind of yield growth, and Atrofarm started off by offering us a PLSD, Atrofarm, so that's and then a PLSB one as well. So we've managed to increase our liquidity by about at least 30 to 40% in the last few days, and there's some fantastic rewards there. So this is kind of just to introduce these guys. They've been great for our community, and I think they're looking to expand slowly.
Nice. Is any of these projects tied to Atropa, or are you just throwing it in there to get the liquidity?
No, all we have is just locked liquidity in their farms.
Well, yeah, Jamie could answer about, because he did actually start this as a yield farm specifically for Atropa ecosystem, and now he's kind of branching out.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that was the goal at the start, was to have a yield farm on for the Atropa ecosystem to increase the liquidity of all the most popular pairs. But as I did that, it wasn't very popular. I think the Atropa community can be can be quite close, and it can be quite hard to reach inside those communities, as they don't necessarily have they don't have a project leader, let's say. So I didn't have much success with at first, and success came when I branched out to other communities which were more accessible and more seemed to be more receptive to yield farming.
Nice. Yeah, I reached out to there's a project that launched yesterday, and I told them to start tying some liquidity to Atropa and to like all these other type of ecosystems where you can get leaks. I don't know if you heard of them, DBZen. They just launched yesterday, and I participated in their shit yesterday too, just to see like how it worked. And then I know IMPLS, is that the same thing as like it's a different reflection token, right?
IMPLS is yield aggregator. So what we do is we have vaults for farms like on PulseX, Atrofarm, or Spark farms. And what it'll do is multiple times a day, instead of depositing in the farm, you deposit in the vault, and multiple times a day, it'll sell your rewards and redeposit, and create LP and then redeposit. So it automatically does the compounding for you. So that's what we do in combination with yield farming and a revenue share. But yeah, no reflections.
Okay. You guys don't have anything to do with the Pulse. What's it called now? DeLorean? Or is that a separate project? That's somebody else, right?
Yeah, that's someone else. Yeah, when I came over to Pulse, it was pretty much just me. So I'm just getting kind of established in the community now. But yeah, that one's not me.
Okay, I thought it was you for some reason.
That's weird. Someone just asked me that something the other day. They're like, "Is this you doing this project?" I was like, "No, if it's me, I'll say."
Little bit of a price update, guys. Looks like Bitcoin is up a whole % on the day. Looks like it's continuing its pump. Ethereum is up a whole percentage. It's just punched through the 200-day moving average on the daily chart, so that's really bullish. Let's see if it can kind of use that as support now. And Hex is up almost 13% on the day as we talk. So yeah, good news for the ecosystem. I'm not sure what the Pulse price is doing. If anyone can check that.
PLSX is up about 3.5%. It's doubled its price, I think, in the last week or so. And then PLS is up about 2.5%. It's also, I think, almost doubled its. Well, yeah, I think it's almost doubled since the bottom. INC up to almost $1.50. All of them to kind of same kind of like price gains, I think, on those three tokens about. So, which is good if you're providing liquidity or doing any of these farms, because then if they're kind of going up and down at the same kind of ratios, and you're not really getting a lot of impermanent loss. So.
Yeah, one of our vaults that's paired with I think the pair is PLSX / PLS. Like both those tokens were like going parabolic, yesterday. So like all the TVL in that was going way up. Yeah, it's nice when they move in the same direction.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so both of your tokens are right around 100,000 market cap, I believe, right? Both the Atrofa and the Impulse token.
Yeah, our circulated market cap right now is, I think, about 91,000, and our fully diluted value is about 250,000. Yep, and it's been floating around there for about the last month, really.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of like a better low cap gem than getting in under 100,000 market cap. So I know a Atrofa token, I think when you set that up, I think it was like $500 or $1,000 market cap, and then you guys went up to about 150,000 market cap. I think that was like about 150x you did. I know it was around 3 cents when I got into farming over there, and it went all the way up to about 13 cents. It did like a quadruple move. And even Impulse, I think it was 50 or 60 cents when I started earning it in the vaults, and it went up to about $1.60 yesterday. So almost tripled as well in the last week, 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, it's wild. I was looking through some messages with someone from the ecosystem, and when I was first building Impulse, I was sending him like the UI and stuff from when I first launched. And when I first launched, I paired like 1% with like, I think it was $250 or something, and it's just crazy how much it's grown from there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we have a lot of like gains to be made soon here with the market, how the direction is going, and then the halving coming up. I think in about April or May next year, and all the ETFs approvals, and also with Pulse Bitcoin, we have our second halving. That's probably going to be around January or February. We had our first halving months back. We're already
We've
about
got
50% of the way.
it's different for each chain. So the halving on ETH is estimated at February the 28th, and for Pulsechain, sorry, they've got the other one way around. Pulsechain halving should be 28th of Feb, estimated at the moment, and the Ethereum side halving is estimated for 15th of May.
Yeah, and just for the people that aren't really aware of the tokenomics, Pulse Bitcoin has the same 21 million supply as native Bitcoin. Instead of mining it with ASIC hardware, GPUs and having the electricity overhead and all the costs, you're basically, all you have to do is buy the ASIC token. It's a digital version of the ASIC miners, so you lock those for 30 days at a time, and you're earning the inflation of the token in Pulse Bitcoin. When you lock your ASIC, you get your ASIC back at the end of the 30-day mining session, minus a small fee. It started at a 7.5% monthly mining rate, and then when the halving happened months back, it's at 3.75% monthly right now. I think that's about 45% annualized APR. And once that next halving happens at the beginning of the year, that will be cut again to half that. It's about 1.75 or some change. So basically, the halvings, instead of Bitcoin's halving, happen every 4 years based on the block the block rewards. It's every 6 to 12 months with Pulse Bitcoin's halvings, and there's going to be the same amount of 32 halvings, but that's going to take 15 to 30-ish years instead of Bitcoin being, decades to get to the full supply out. So right now we have, Sammy, you can probably answer this. In the first halving, we mined half of the total 21 million supply, and then we're 50% of the way through the second one, which is going to be another 25% of the supply. So I think we're about 15 million tokens of the 20 or 14 million maybe of the 21 million mined so far that are circulating. And we're at about, depending on which chain you're on, if you're mining on Ethereum or on Pulsechain, we're at about 20 to 30% of the total supply being locked up in the NFTs for an average of about 4 or 5 years, some of them going out 10, 15 years from now. So
I've got some updates on those figures actually. So on the Pulse chain, we've got 23.5% of Pulse Bitcoin locked, and that just jumped up yesterday from an average of 5 years to an average of 6 years. I mean, I don't know how long it took Hex to get that amount locked up for that many years, but I think we're doing pretty good. We're pretty much 1 year old now. Well, ASIC mining token is 1 year old, and Pulse Bitcoin is now just 1 month away from its birthday. And on the ETH side, we're actually up at
Pulse Doge is about 2 years old, right?
Yeah, it was started in April, so it's about 6 months older. But then you've got on the ETH side, we're actually at 33.7% locked, so we're about 10% higher locked there. That's mainly due to the Hex rewards and the CARN rewards being activated sooner on that chain. There was a little bit of a delay, so once the Hex miner gets going on the Pulse chain like it is on the Ethereum side, you can see more and more of that locked up, especially now we've got this extra pool open with PLSB and CARN. People can now get hold of CARN easier to pay their registration to lock up. So I think, yeah, we're going to see. Well, I talk to the whales regularly on the ETH side, and they are committed to getting to 9 million tokens on PNSB locked up. They're really committed into locking that up and starting to trade these NFTs in the future rather than relying on tokens and liquidity. So it's going to be quite an interesting game, and we'll see what happens on the Pulse side. I think most likely it looks like the trend is following the trend we have here on the ETH side.
Yeah, so just to kind of give an overview on how the ecosystem basically started with the dev Hexinfo, who's gone, just like the native Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto, he's gone Satoshi mode, basically left the entire ecosystem to the community. So it's 100% decentralized and community led. Now he started with Pulse Doge. He gave it away on 420. I believe that was 2021, right? So it's about 2 years old. And that was given away to hex stakers based on your, I believe, your T-share rate, right? Or no, it was based on if you were a crab or a shark or dolphin, what your rank was as a hex staker. So yeah, that was just, nobody even had to buy initially. They earned that for in an airdrop. And then when he launched the Pulse Bitcoin mining with ASIC token, there was a conversion event where you could take your Pulse Doge that you got for free for staking Hex, and you could convert at a 5-to-1 ratio. So one Pulse Doge would get you 5 ASIC, and all of the Pulse Doge that was converted for the ASIC mining token was then burned. So the supply went from, I think it was around 5+ million, went down to about 50%. I think was burned. It went down to about 2.4 million, which is at now. So it's a scarce meme coin that's actually deflationary because it's constantly being burned as well.
Yeah, you've also got a huge amount of that, which was also donated to the Hex. Is it the OA or the BA account? But yeah, it was sent to the Hex address there. So and that's been holding it since.
And then, since Pulse Bitcoin was launched, there was another third-party dev. His name's KB. He came out with the Pulse Bitcoin Lock NFTs, which is a way that you can lock up your Pulse Bitcoin for anywhere from 1 day to as many as you want. I mean, it goes up 15 years, 20 years plus. Initially, you're just locking the tokens to save yourself from selling at such a low price. There's a lot of stories of early Pulse Bitcoin, early native Bitcoin miners, that were mining on their laptops like Richard Hart and 50-cent blocks and earning it at pennies or dollars, and if they had only held on to what they mined or what they bought early, up until the years later where the price rose obviously to tens of thousands of dollars. So if they had a way to lock those tokens up to kind of save themselves from the pressure of selling when the price appreciation happened. So that was the initial thesis on that. Then they turned into something more when he kind of built in a way of earning rewards on them. So for every 1,000 Pulse Bitcoin you'd lock for 1,000 days, you're basically earning the CARN token, the Pulse Dogecoin staking Carnival token. So you're earning 1,500 CARN over a 1,000-day period for each NFT that you lock up. And since then, he's actually added Hex rewards, where you're going to be earning from the Hex reward pool of the CARNival.app a maximum of 62.5 Hex per day on each NFT. That's 5,000 Pulse Bitcoin locks for 5,000 days. So you just have to register those to begin getting the Hex rewards, and it's kind of acts as an IOU until that Hex reward pool gets filled up from the community miner. So some of the applications on this third-party DApp, it's a suite of 7 smart contracts. If you go to CARN.app, you can find the DApp, or you can go to Pulse Dogecoin Stake and Carnival to get the overview, and then get to the DApp. So it has a hex community miner, the hex staker, that once it's at 1 million hex, it basically mines hex in 60-day increments with a reload period. And then that just goes on forever. The smart contract just keeps those hex stakes going for 60-day intervals, basically forever, because it's a fully immutable. All the smart contracts in the DApp are fully immutable, so they're never going to shut down. That's what gives you the hex rewards on the NFTs. Then there's the Pulse Dogecoin stake pool that goes for 90 days at a time. So basically, you deposit your Pulse Dogecoin, and you're earning the yield in more Pulse Dogecoin, the PLC, the PLSB, ASIC, and the in Hex. So you're earning 4 tokens every time you stake in that pool for 90-day periods. Then there's the ASIC miner. So you're depositing your ASIC token. You're mining for 30-day sessions, just like you would normally. But it's kind of snowball effect. Somebody deposited a few 100,000 ASIC in there, and that was giving actually about a 35% monthly return for anybody that put their ASIC in there this last mining session. The Pulse Bitcoin Lock NFTs I mentioned, they also have the WATSA NFTs. So WATSAs earn a portion of all of these different protocols, all the smart contracts that are in the stake pools. They're just basically sending all these different tokens, Pulse Bitcoin, ASIC, PLSD, Hex, and CARN, and USDC to these WATSA NFT holders, and that's actually a version of the Hedron Icosa WATSAs. He kind of copied their game theory on that. So he took implemented different strategies from all these different protocols that are on Pulsechain for this app. So yeah, you can go to CARN.app and kind of learn more of that. And also, this is also constantly adding to the buy and burn of all tokens. It's buying and burning Pulse Bitcoin, Pulse Doge, ASIC, Hex, and CARN. So all the tokens are getting burned, bought up and burned at a high rate. So it definitely helps our whole ecosystem, and it helps any other of the tokens that are kind of integrated into the protocol. So
Yeah, and there's also people in the community who are considering adding other tokens to this NFT that you can yield. So there's been discussions from people. I won't say anything I won't say who they are because they're just speculating at the moment. But yeah, you can very easily create a new front end where you can just go and take the NFT, and you may, in this instance, for example, you might choose the person that designs this may choose to charge ASIC. I don't know, 1,000 ASIC, for example, and then you could start earning rewards in other tokens as well using the NFT.
yeah, and I forgot to mention that all the NFTs, the Pulse Bitcoin Lock NFTs that are earning the Hex and CARN rewards, and the WATSA NFTs, they're all tradable if you set them as tradable. So you can put them on an NFT platform what are the ones on Pulsechain? They have Mintra that's coming out soon. They have I think a Beatbox or something, another one NFT platform, and actually. Karos, you would probably know a little bit more of the NFT platforms because you have the PLSB Bro NFT collections. But you can trade those or sell those, and when you sell them, they also keep earning those rewards for whoever buys them. So these could be quite valuable in the future, depending on the price that PLSB gets to, having all these 5,000 day locks and earning the all the Hex and CARN rewards on them. You'll probably start to see these get listed in the bull run. People that don't want to wait the 5,000 days, it's about 15 years, and they'll probably sell these after a few years and market at whatever price they feel they can get, which will be a lot of profit from what they right now. I think it only costs a few $100s to set these up with the amount of PLSB you need to buy to create them, plus the registration fees to earn the rewards on them. So
yeah, they're also what adds value to these NFTs is the fact that you can only create so many because of the limited supply of CARN. So I think there can only ever be on Ethereum 3,000 of these, and I think if you take out the ones that have already been created, not too many that can be made for 5,000 really. But that comes down to the gas fee you have to pay for registration with CARN. And the other thing you mentioned,
even less on Pulsechain because the supply of CARN is much lower on Pulsechain. It's about 1.5 million on Pulsechain, and I think it's about 6.5 million on Ethereum side. So it would be limited even more on how many you could register and create.
And just personal experience, what I've realized with these NFTs are they're trying to get certain friends into Pulsechain, into Hex before that, and into Pulse Bitcoin now. Some people are just a little bit reluctant because they don't really have the knowledge, number one, of crypto, and obviously, the extra barrier to entry to get into DeFi. I'm sure a lot of us have experienced trying to onboard people to Hex in the past, and people just find it too complicated. And I found just in the last few days, these NFTs have been a great onboarding tool for me. I managed to get a couple of friends who have been trying to get into crypto for the last year, who now have purchased a couple of NFTs off me, because that's something they can hold and understand. Don't really have to do much. Don't really have to kind of trade, do all that kind of stuff. They can now just kind of hold this NFT and call me up in a year and say, "Oh, hey Sammy, how do I scrape some yield? I see Hex is up at 50 cents. How can I scrape some of that?" And 5 minutes on the phone with them, and then they've got some reward. And then they can sell that. They can sell that NFT anytime. They can sell it. They can sell it to a friend, swap it for a car, do what the hell they want. It doesn't need the liquidity.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not limited to just doing one or a few. I mean, a whale could come and make 100 of these, and they're earning about 6,000 hex a day when that reward pool is full enough to kind of support that. So in the bull market, hex, if it gets double its all-time high price, if it reaches $1, that's six grand a day that those NFTs will be earning just in the hex rewards, and CARN could be at a pretty hefty price by then too. So even though the PLSB inside may not be, if it's it's locked for 15 years, that's kind of like a cherry on top when you go to retire, when those unlock, or for your kids or forever, or like you said, you can put it on the NFT marketplace and sell them early, and just cash out on them. So there's a lot of different ways it could be done, and a lot of game theory on the whole smart contract dApps that are integrated into the Carnival. So it's one thing that's really kind of energized our community to kind of really be enthusiastic about all the tokenomics and all the different coins in the ecosystem. And now that we're having these yield farms pop up in the vaults with both of your protocols, I mean it's even more exciting for everyone that's involved. And so we're really grateful to be here.
Yeah, and that's another point we didn't mention before is these vaults, the IMPLS vault is creating constant buy pressure as well. The way it's designed on PLSB and on Atrofa or any other pairs in those vaults.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Huh? It automatically with every harvest they'll be buying some. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I got to get another impulse farm, maybe at Atrofa or something, so that way I can have an impulse vault as well paired with something.
Yeah, you guys got what Atrofa Farm's got a P dye one as well, right? P dye farm.
Yeah, we do have what is it? P dye PLS, I think. The one here we have I think it's the main liquidity pair for P dye.
Yeah, nice. I actually utilized the other farm you had. I keep using the word pool, sorry. The other farm you had, it was Atrofa PLS, and I think I'm getting over 1,000% APR there. So that's cool. It's giving me something else to do with my PLS,
Yeah, we could
definitely.
even pair one of our ecosystem coins with IMPLS token as well, and have that on Atrofa, and then it gives people, when they're earning the impulse token from their PLSB Atrofa or PLSD Atrofa vaults, it gives them something to turn around and pair that IMPLS with that they already have, and recompound that. So
we're nearly kind of coming towards the end of this. It's quite late here in the UK. I just wanted to quickly check if there was any questions or anyone wants to raise their hand and maybe share some of their yield farming strategies or something they want to see. Oh, sorry, D-Hex, you've been waiting so long. I completely forgot to pull you up there, buddy. Please go ahead.
Nah, it's okay, bud. Yeah, no, I've just been listening to you guys and getting a feel for the protocols. Like I have looked at IMPLS and Atrofarm briefly. Like I do know a little bit about PLS, Pulse Bitcoin and that kind of thing. But yeah, just coming up because I know Neil couldn't connect, and if you guys had any questions, but like I particularly around TETRA, a lot of those things that you guys may not have in your ecosystem. I know that some of the stuff that you do is auto compounding, that kind of thing. TETRA can basically take any manual process that you guys do and automate that for you. So things that you'd be able to add onto your ecosystem, we will arbitrage the absolutes not out of everything. So like you'll be able to do that in real time, so you can monitor the market, that type of thing, and also perform those transactions between your stable coins. So if you think about it from that perspective, you might have a treasury that sets aside a little bit of money and then puts that into an arbitrage. And as that arbitrage obviously pays out, daily, whatever you got, however it's set up, you'd basically be able to compound that interest every day, and then you'd be able to pay out dividends to your platform people. So that's another thing that you could do. You could also run strategies through fiat, famous, all those kind of things to kind of incentivize people in your ecosystem. Anything that's, you find is like I don't know, it's something that's going to provide you with yield. Even if that's just going onto Fux or something and staking stable coins for a period of time, and you have payout periods based on the interest, or whatever you guys want to do, that will be able to be automated for you. Like around your NFTs, there'll be a lot of stuff built around that as well to pay out in stable coins as opposed to other tokens, and provide some like more incentive for people to hold on to the things that you've got. And yeah, like there's a stack of stuff coming. We will be going, eventually we'll be going multi-chain. So we're looking into those kind of things to provide better value for people across the board. I know like Beetroot's got a swap at the moment, but I'm not sure about the bridging risk. So I mean, it's something that you have to look into before you do any of that stuff. But yeah, like we'll be looking for new solutions, that kind of thing, that provide you without that risk of doing that. So they're all the types of things that we'll hope to integrate for you guys, and mean that you can move cross-chain seamlessly without any sort of third-party risk. And that way, everybody in Pulsechain will be better for it, and will help to make the Pulsechain ecosystem flourish for all of you guys. So that's what the hope is anyway. So yeah, obviously we're potentially going to testnet this week, and then we're waiting for our DEX aggregator audit. So we got a clearance last week, but like they still had to tweak a few things on our DEX aggregator. That's been submitted back to them as far as I'm aware, and we're waiting for the green light. Once that green light comes through and we've had a little bit of time to test on testnet, we'll be going straight to mainnet, and basically you'll have access on testnet to Stratus, which is the back end side of things, so that you can automate 3D drop and drag, your contract blocks, function calls, all that kind of stuff in there, so you can start looping your financial products. And then The Atlas side of it is basically where you get your community built strategies, templates that you can utilize. So that what that's going to look like is you're going to basically have a central hub with the protocols, and you'll be able to look through that kind of stuff and see whether it's for you or not. You'll be able to back test stuff. You'll be able to check or have a look at the data to see how a strategy is performing. You'll be able to deploy it. But the aim is to get to a point where, like, say you wanted to do like a Pulse Bitcoin strategy or something that incorporates Hex or whatever it is that you guys can create, that it will buy those assets for you through the DEX aggregator, and it will start doing the strategy that's in place for you straight out of the gate. And you won't have to do anything. It will apply the strategy for you, and produce the yield. The yield will come back into either into your smart wallet, or it'll go into other yield bearing products, which means that you're constantly generating yield. We'll have it so that we scan the market, and if there's, like, say, better stablecoin yield on FUX, you can move your tokens into FUX, plant them there. If something else comes up on another DEX, you can then unstake and move there. And this will all happen in real time so that you're earning the best yield, those kind of things. So yeah, there's potentially a whole heap of stuff that you guys will be able to add onto your protocols. You'll also be able to build those strategies for your community, which is really cool because you'll get a kickback for protocols that are building, that put it forward to their guys, and there'll be a little bit of yield there that you'll get through TETRA, and that'll another thing that you can incentivize your community with and provide value to them.
Yeah, and on that note, I think everyone should, if they're interested in TETRA, you can go into their Telegram room. It's really useful. What they've actually got is they've got the main chat there where you can kind of learn about TETRA and hear the updates. But there's regular voice chats in there as well, which is cool. Something I love. You can speak to Stu, you can speak to all the team there. And what they've actually got, they've got some strategists in there like Red Squirrel. I think Crypto Sloth is with you guys as well, and Neil for T-Shares, all come up with these different strategies. And they've got subcategories where they just create a room for us, and it's the PLSB strategies. And Ben shared one of his strategies today, and it's a long wall of text, so it can be quite, if you're not in the system, be a bit complex. But I think this was really cool about TETRA is I think someone in the TETRA group said earlier, they said the beautiful thing about TETRA is they're not going to be able to come up with the best strategies for different kind of protocols. Each protocol, people that are kind of really in their protocol and in that community, they're going to know the best strategies. So you can come into TETRA, share your idea, for the tokens you like, strategies, get an infographic put up, and then you can share that. If you've got a successful strategy working for yourself, you can share that, and other people can copy it.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah,
I just wanted to go to Jamie a chance with Atrofarm. He has to run, but if you want to say anything else, Jamie, we'll probably stay on for a few more minutes.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, guys. It was great to be able to to speak. So yeah, thanks for the invite. And yeah, sorry I have to run, but yeah, they continued
Thanks
here.
for coming. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie, for everything you've done, and we'll definitely be doing these spaces regularly with you guys and do some live streams on that fat.
Awesome. And if anyone think of any questions, just pop in the Telegram. I'm always kind of lurking and happy to answer any questions. So yeah, don't hesitate.
Thank you, man. Yeah, and please jump in the Atrofarm Telegram chat to speak to Jamie directly. I think I saw a raised hand there from someone.
I didn't want to cut off D-Hex. If you want to finish what you were saying, I just wanted to give Jamie a chance to say bye to everyone.
Yeah, no, all good. I appreciate your time tonight. I know that we only just sort of jumped in, but probably missed some of it. But yeah, appreciate you guys. And feel free to hit us up in the TETRA Telegram group. And if you've got ideas, put them forward, because we want to strengthen the Pulsechain community, whether it's it doesn't matter what it is, as long as we can help you guys, we'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to say, I mean, between the four protocols we have here tonight, I mean, this is like cutting edge DeFi. Coming to Pulsechain, the yield farming with Atrofarm, the yield aggregating with IMPLS, everything in the Pulse Bitcoin community and ecosystem with the third-party dApps being built, and now with TETRA as well being offered to integrate all of that kind of seamlessly. So I see a lot of like good things for all four projects here and growth. So
yeah, so I think we've run for 2 hours now. Was there anyone who wanted to say anything before we left? I think I saw a raised hand from Arrogant, but I may have that may have been another emoji. Sent you a request, but I think unless he accepts the request, I think we'll wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for everyone coming. Is that a raised hand or a wave? That's a wave.
yeah, and if anybody wants to join the IMPLS Telegram as well, there's a lot of activity in there daily, and in TETRA too. I just kind of got in there as well and kind of poking around. So, and then we have the Pulse Bitcoin PLSD ASIC main chat. We have about 6,500 community members in there, and then a couple sub chats with the CARN.app and Pulse Doge and a few others. So.
Yeah, and we'll look. Hopefully, I'll be doing a stream. I'm just in talks with KG from Internet Money Wallet. We're just trying to get our dates together, but hopefully, I'll be doing a stream with him. That's really exciting. We'll hear some updates there. And this is what's really cool about Pulsechain is just kind of all these different protocols that you see tonight working together. It's beautiful when there's no conflict of interest, especially.
Yeah, and Karos, you have a live stream with Corey Costa on the 28th, right? A few days coming from now.
Yeah, coming right up at I think it's a Saturday. It's on the 28th. Yeah, it's on Saturday. I have to check with him to get the exact time, but I'll post some updates in the Telegram and also on the Twitter. And yeah, thanks for having us on, guys. It's always fun to talk about the protocol. Definitely be sure to check it out if you haven't yet, and hop in the Telegram. I'm always in there. If you need anything or have any questions, that's where you can find me.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and thanks for getting our vaults up on there, and we'll definitely be having some more spaces and live streams with you guys soon. So
yeah, I think next week we'll probably talk about the market in general, the whole crypto market. I think there's a lot to discuss there. Hopefully, some exciting stuff. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about that next week. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it, guys.
Now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
all right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.